So when we were coming to Munich and I knew nothing about Dachau, really, other than that it was a concentration camp. So I went online and I did some research, and Dachau is the first concentration camp and was the model concentration camp for all the other ones. And it was opened March 22nd of 1933, so literally 79 years ago this week. And 79 years ago, and my dad is 78, so in my dad's lifetime. 1933 to 1938, the prisoners that they had here were all political prisoners, and the Nazis acted very fast to bring the prisoners here. So they were political prisoners, so they were communists and social democrats, and they were activists, and they were trade union leaders, and they were authors and artists and intellectuals. At the height of the war, in order of size, there were Polish, Russian, French, Yugoslavian, Jews, and Czechs here in this camp. So ultimately it became all prisoners of all nations and all faiths. 200,000 people were imprisoned here in the life of the camp. And according to Wikipedia, it was 41,000 people that were killed, but according to the plaques here, it was 43,000 people that were killed during the 12 years that it was open here. So from 1933 to 1938, it was the political prisoners, and then they turned their eyes to the Jews. And between 1945 and 1948, it became, they held the SS prisoners here awaiting trial. This is the path of the prisoner, and they would come up in cattle cars on those railroad tracks, and they would walk past this beautiful little stream, and then they would walk through the gate that said, work brings freedom. So over here, these are the roll call grounds. The prisoners had to assemble every morning for an hour and stand there motionless, and even the dead were dragged out and counted, and many the sick collapsed, and then the other prisoners were not allowed to help them. This is the roll call. So there were 3,000 Catholic priests and bishops and deacons, and that's not including all of the Russian Orthodox, Serbian Orthodox, Greek Orthodox, the Orthodox Christians. This is the museum, built by the prisoners' own hands. I can't even get this whole thing on the video screen, it's so big. This map of Germany and the camp system during the war, and all the minor camps, and it goes on and on and on. With all these personal stories, it's just really overwhelming. And there's Jews, and then in the back there's Austrians, and then there's Sinti and Roma and Czech hostages, French prisoners, and German opponents of the regime, and Italian prisoners, and Hungarian prisoners, and Greek and Polish and Spanish prisoners. So this exhibit is in the prisoner baths. So this is the food storeroom. I don't even know what to say. In the museum, and there are story after story. The faces and the pictures, and they're horror stories, and they spared nothing. This is the home memorial. That wall says never again. Made the example of those who were exterminated here between 1933 and 1945 because they resisted Nazism, helped to unite the living for the defense of peace and freedom and in respect for their fellow man. It's so big, isn't it? I don't know if you really get that idea. It's so big. So they tore down the other barracks because of their condition, but they rebuilt 2 of them for us to experience what the barracks were like. Living chamber. Wow. Picture of what people look like living here. Into the bathrooms. The washroom. The lockers. And this is the camp road, and the spirit of solidarity as the prisoners. This was where they would spend their few hours, few free time, exchanging information and meeting friends from other barracks. So as we're walking towards the end of the barracks, there's a Russian Orthodox temple over there. It's the Russian Orthodox temple. There's the Protestant Church of Reconciliation. There's the Catholic Mortal Agony of Christ Chapel, and that's straight ahead. And then over there, there's a Jewish memorial and a Carmelite convent in the back behind. So on the site of the memorials were service buildings behind the barracks, including a camp garden and hutches for breeding Angora rabbits. The wool and coat from the animals were used as linings for the uniforms. There was also a special barracks where they forced female prisoners from the Ravensbrück concentration camp into prostitution. The Jewish memorial is just a pit with a ray of light in the ceiling. And this is the Catholic Mortal Agony of Christ Chapel. So this is the Protestant Church of Reconciliation. So now here over this bridge, and here is this dry moat and the 7 guard towers and the 3 or 4 layers of 4 layers of barbed wire, live barbed wire, and then over through these pretty sickening looking gates and over this beautiful little river is not only the Russian Orthodox temple, the little Russian Orthodox chapel, the crematorium. It's oddly peaceful, isn't it, for being the crematorium? It's like the first area in here that has any woods or any living trees, and you can hear the birds. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Look at the pulleys. Wow. Each of 4 furnaces could cremate 2 to 3. The ovens were connected to a chimney. Most hangings were carried out here, and then the victims were hanged directly in front of the burning ovens. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. So this is the room where all the dead bodies were put before they were cremated. The gas chamber. Holy crap. This is where the victims will leave their clothes before entering the gas chamber, disguised as showers. Their clothing was brought to the disinfection chamber where before the next group could enter the room. Wow. So outside the crematorium, they would bury the, or just not bury, they would just put the ashes in pits. Here is one of these pits. The pistol range for execution site. Execution range with blood ditch. Have any thoughts, Bob? Any thoughts?
It's a very somber place. How people can be so mean to other people.
And we leave where we came through the, what was it? Work brings freedom?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the reverse path of the prisoner, because we get to leave.